So I'm just hanging with my buddy Cheveo and his butt, and thought I would just do a little bit of an impromptu video around what this is all about, because one of the things that I often talk about when people are first coming with the horses is the hind end of the horse and what we've been taught about it. So this guy here, he teaches a lot through his hind end, and he's the one who kind of educated me on another meaning of what the hind end of the horse kind of represents. So I think one of the things I'm passionate about is helping to educate and inform people around horses and being with them and what we learn from them. So we will learn the first thing about horses is never stand behind the hind end of the horse, kind of like I'm doing. We're not really always given the reasons as to why. I always explain to people, I think the most dangerous place of a horse is actually their front end and not their hind end, because as a prey animal, especially in my environment, if they're going to spook, they're going to run. And then because I have a big herd, there's a hierarchy. If I'm standing with a horse that's lower on the hierarchy and somebody comes in, that horse has to move. So I always actually say don't stand behind the front, or don't stand in front of the front end of the horse. Not that the hind end cannot be dangerous, but horses are not waiting and walking around waiting to kick people. They kick and use aggression with their hind end if they're feeling threatened, or if they are if they can't get out, if they can't sort of flee. Of course, in the middle of me talking about his hind end, he has to leave because apparently I got the message that I was getting to. So I will continue on anyways, because why not? So one of the things Cheveo actually taught me, and he taught me this because when I was in a session with a client and he was persistent with his butt and he just wouldn't stop. And I think that horses deliver their message with who shows up as a teacher and also how they interact with us. And so when I was in this session and I kind of put a question out to him, because I communicate to my horses, and I said, what are you doing? Why are you showing me your hind end, or this woman the hind end? And what I sort of received from that interaction was that awareness that as a prey animal, which horses are, the hind end is actually a vulnerable position to them because it is their blind spot. And if a predator is going to come, one of the places that they can attack is the hind end. So what I was getting from him, that it was an invitation to trust. He's saying, I trust you to give me your hind end and you can trust me. And so as soon as I said the word trust for that woman, he stopped doing what he was doing. So I find too with the horses, they go away once the message has been delivered. The other thing, just sort of multiple layers to this, every time a horse has a behavior or interacts a certain way, I am also getting curious as to why that is. I was just standing with Cheveo for about 10 minutes, and the thing that I was getting from him was also about receiving. He is a horse that has no problem asking for what he needs. Part of being scratched, it does feel good. Horses groom each other. It's a way that they bond with each other. He's a horse that likes touch and intimate connection. And so when I was standing there with him, I got, the mirror for me of where can I also ask for what I need. I think that as humans, we sometimes feel badly about, or we don't ask to receive what we need, our needs met, whatever that looks like. There also, to me, is an element of self-care because he's asking and getting himself tended to. So I always think about, where am I caring for myself or not? I definitely can say self-care is something that I have been working on myself. And then the other thing too, for those that are a little bit more energetically or spiritually inclined, the root chakra of the horse is on their hind end. So sometimes when I'm getting that interaction, there is a message about grounding. And I find when I'm interacting with him physically that way, I do feel a lot more grounded. So I definitely can resonate with that. So there's layers to that. One of the things that I often will invite people around this whole thing is, as human beings, we tend to attach meaning or assumption based on how previous interactions happened, right? So we learn, even though I tell people the hind end of the horse isn't always dangerous, as soon as they come out here, that's all they remember. And they're not reading the body language of what's currently being presented. And that's a thing that we humans do. We have certain interactions, or we have memories, and we bring those forward. One of the things that I also do when I'm with my horses is, even though I know horse behavior, I still try to be curious of what is the meaning of this in this moment, and what's the message for me here, because there's also, I think, different meanings and layers between behavior and what the symbolism behind that is. So what I guess part of, sometimes when I'm doing these things and I'm like, I don't know why I'm doing this video right now, one of the things that I'm getting as a reminder in connection to that is to be present on reading the space. And also I might think about, where am I creating assumption in my life, or I'm being too fearful to step in and be present somewhere, ask for something based on what happened in the past. And then also the whole self-care and grounding piece. So I don't know, I just kind of felt that I was inspired to share a little bit while I was out here hanging with my horses. Even though I do this work on others, I feel part of being in integrity myself is I come out here every day and I really try to also receive what the horses have for me, because they are big illuminators for my day-to-day living when I feel stuck or I don't know what's really going on within me, and I come out. And Cheveo was kind of up here waiting for me and nickering, so I kind of hung out with him for a bit just to receive that, and I'm sharing my experience. So the benefit that I get to have a herd of horses in my backyard is I get to receive their wisdom all the time too. As another horse comes over here, what do you have to offer? This is our lead mare, Pony. Do you have something to share? Hi, Mama Girl. I love when this happens. You guys are getting a visual of, so I would sit here and receive her, of what message is she bringing to me. Actually, I was thinking about you today. To me, this horse really represents, she's our lead mare, our boss mare, is power, because this mare is huge, not just in size, but also in presence. And nobody messes with this horse. So sometimes as a woman, and I think this is a general, I'm uncertain about how big can I occupy this space. And I always get, for her, it's like, own your power and your bigness. So I'm just sharing that, just coming and standing here. Maybe also an affirmation of my own leadership, because she is the lead mare. So you might take something from that too. Oh, she just licked and chewed. So when horses do that, that's confirmation. So somebody else needed to see that too. So I'm going to stand here and appreciate what she's offering to me around this, and just so happen to be recording as I'm doing this. So wherever you need to receive that as well. Thank you, Mama Girl. Now I'm going to pick burrs out of your hair. Okay, there you go, everybody. Impromptu horse medicine video.